Video number 15, most common SEO mistakes and how to avoid them. Now more than ever, having a strong SEO strategy is sink or swim for your business. But with the number of updates Google and the other search engines make to their algorithms, it can be daunting to stay current with the best practices for search engine optimization, SEO. Should backlinks still be a priority? What is Google's Penguin update and how can we stop losing traffic because of it? But no matter how much search engines change their ranking equations, there are a number of basic SEO mistakes you'll want to avoid. If you want to understand the most common SEO mistakes and how to avoid them, we are about to give you an idea of what you could be doing. So let's get started. 1. Your pictures aren't search engine optimized. As of February 2018, around 22.6% of web searches in the United States occurred on Google Images. This means if you're not optimizing your images for searches, you're missing out on massive amounts of traffic. Using image optimization produces quicker loading times, more opportunities for ranking, and improved user experience. If you want your pictures to help garner traffic for your site or blog posts, you need to be sure that you optimize your pictures for your site and search engines. This means things like making sure the pictures are relevant and appropriately placed within the web page, using the right picture format like GIF, PNG, or JPEG, setting up the aspect ratio of your images to look good on both web and mobile phones. Furthermore, make sure your pictures are the right size before publishing it on your website. If your image is oversized, it can create massive SEO problems. When an image is too large, it takes longer to load on the page. If there are several oversized images of this size, it will slow down your load time, leading to fewer search engine recommendations. Name your file with keywords. This makes it easier to find your image via Google Image Search. 2. You aren't promoting your blog posts. Writing an article online isn't enough. Until you garner a loyal audience of followers, you will struggle to share and spread your content. You will need a large audience that includes Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram followers, as well as email subscribers before self-promotion becomes less important. Be careful though, this can go too far and enter into the category of spamming. If you want to be successful at self-promotion, you need to take advantage of all the social media networks available. Once you've built your audience, you can begin to focus your content promotion strategy on where your audience is most active. 3. Your content isn't formatted correctly. Correctly formatting your work makes it easier for search engines to find it and easier for your users to read and share it. Using headings allows your readers to get a better feel for the content in the article and how it will be useful for them. Use things like italics, bullet points, and headings to make your content more accessible. Also, note that all things like poor spelling and grammar or poor editing can lead to Google as labeling your site as a low-quality website, making it less likely that they will recommend it to others. Some sites also may not be formatted correctly. One of the biggest styling mistakes is not using the H1 tag correctly. Google uses crawlers or bots to archive content from your site. These bots read the content of your site and index the site accordingly. One of the most common SEO mistakes is using multiple H1 tags. This confuses the crawlers and makes them unable to archive your content. It can have various consequences from programmer error to bad site design. To diagnose this problem on your site, you need to go to the page and right-click. Then press View Page Source from the menu. You can locate H1 using the Find menu. If you discover that there are over 2 instances of an H1 tag, it needs to be reformatted. 4. You're not using the tools provided by search engines. Once you've implemented your SEO strategy, you might think you're done and can move on to other parts of the marketing strategy. Wrong, because the next step is monitoring your strategy using tools that have been provided by search engines. Tools like Google Search Console and Bing Webmaster Tools guide how your sites are doing in search engine rankings. Google Search Console helps measure traffic to your site and check the indexing status of your web page. The site also provides training on how to use Console. You can also ensure that Google has the most up-to-date view of your site. 5. You're not using analytics to improve your marketing strategy. Conversions refer to whatever final action you want the user of the site to take. Whether it's making a purchase or reading more blog posts, If you want more conversions on your site, you're going to need to fine-tune your SEO strategy using tools like Google Analytics. You need to find accurate data about your strategy to make changes to your SEO strategy. One of the benefits of SEO analytics is they let you see how successful your campaign is. This includes tools like conversion tracking for keyword phrases. The information you gather helps you create a more effective strategy that will drive more conversions to your site. 6. Your meta description and tags are not unique. Having the right tiles, headings, and titles helps search engines easily index your content. This makes it easier for you to find clients. Therefore, it's incredibly important for you to make all your page names distinct. It will also help when sharing content, because the title page of a website is the first thing people see when a website is shared. Your titles need to help you stand out. It will help your page be more easily accessed for later reference if bookmarked. Each page also needs to contain a brief and unique meta description that entices the reader to view that page. These descriptions help your post stand out on the search results page. 7. You're not updating your social media accounts. This point is especially important as you begin to build your audience to take advantage of multiple platforms. Having inactive social media accounts projects the image that the business is closed or unprofessional. A good rule of thumb for popular social media accounts is to provide updates 2 to 3 times per week, depending on how big the company is. 8. You're using keywords wrong. This can mean things like using keyword stuffing or not doing effective keyword research. Some common SEO mistakes to avoid are only picking keywords that apply to people looking for free information. If your website is based around sales, choose keywords that will most likely be for people looking to buy. Using global keywords when you only serve the local clientele. The bottom line is, unless your site is large and already well established, choosing specific keywords is the way to go. Note that as your website gets bigger, you can choose more competitive keywords. 9. Your site isn't set up for mobile users. A mobile-friendly site is essential as people are becoming more dependent on their cell phones for general purposes, including shopping. Your site needs to be set up so that pictures load at the correct aspect ratio and information is presented clearly. 10. You're using black hat methods. This is where we're going to get a little technical as we understand the various tactics that make up your SEO strategy. There are 2 separate types of SEO strategies you can use, white hat or black hat. White hat strategies. This phrase refers to respectable practices that are recommended by search engines. These tactics help you increase your search engine ranking. They can include things like an intuitive user interface on your website, having a site optimized mobile users with quick loading times, and creating quality content for users. If you are creating an SEO strategy, you should only use white hat strategy. Black hat strategies. Black hat strategies are the opposite of white hat strategies. These strategies breach rules and practices recommended by search engines. It can include things like link farming, purchasing links, keyword stuffing, and hidden text. Most search engines block or ban sites that try to cheat the rules and guidelines. Black hat methods outside of just being unethical are also risky. You should avoid these methods if you want to have a successful SEO strategy. 11. You're not optimizing for voice search. According to an Adobe survey, nearly 50% of consumers use voice search for general web searches. Voice searching is important and its popularity will only grow with time. This means if you aren't optimizing your site for voice searching, you're making a huge mistake. If you want to avoid making common SEO mistakes, optimize for voice search. You're going to need to follow the following tips. Answer questions. Most people use voice search to ask questions. One of the best ways to appeal to an audience is to answer questions. This means doing things like featuring snippets and adding a frequently asked questions page to your site. Make sure your site's business listing is updated and easy to read. This listing must contain things like your business name, phone number, and address. Be sure your site is fast enough for mobile users. If you're curious how your website stacks up, check out tools like Google's Speed Update. As cell phones become a larger part of online searches, the number of people using voice search will only increase. Make this part of your SEO plan now to prevent falling behind in the future. The most common SEO mistakes usually involve not using the tools available to you. Many people who design their SEO strategy don't know what they have available, and so they lose out on sales. While this is hardly an exhaustive list of common SEO complaints, it's hopefully provided some insight into some of the most common obstacles website owners come up against, particularly with niche businesses or those that are starting out online for the first time. The main takeaways when working in SEO are essentially quite simple. Set realistic and achievable goals, plan ahead, commit to budgets, and be patient. Hope you've enjoyed it.